back to the channel. Guys, this is absolutely bonkers. Literally 1 year ago, and I do mean literally 2 days shy to a full year, Hasbro has made additional moves in partnerships with massive rivals, including Playmates. Yes, Playmates and Hasbro are entering a multi-year deal for Power Rangers. This is ridiculous, guys, and the toy tubing world is going nuts with this type of news. Pixel Dan and Andre, the Black Nerd, have actually made a video together highlighting some of the, crazy things that have happened. And I wanted to take my own take on this because there are a couple of things I wanted to highlight for the historic, I think I'm going to go ahead and say that, partnership between these two massive rivals in the toy space. Guys, let's take a deep dive into this and see exactly what was announced on April 24th, 2024, because this one is literally more phenomenal. Let's have a look, everybody. Wow, guys, it's kind of hard to believe, but hell can freeze over a multiple times apparently. It's hard to believe that literally exactly 1 year ago, I posted a video on April 24th, 2023, talking about the Hasbro and Mattel partnership. And at the time, I thought that was absolutely unbelievable. Finding out that they were, collaborating on multiple IPs, including Transformers and other puzzle-related items for Monopoly and such. This was an interesting first step for Hasbro and Mattel. After all, these two companies have been at each other's throats for decades. And I thought that was absolutely shocking. But as we found out a few days ago, this was only the start of things. On April 22nd, as reported by the Toy Book back on April 24th, 2023, at the time I thought this was shocking news, but as it turns out, it was only the tip of the iceberg. Hasbro announced its intentions to license out one of its biggest brands, which was acquired not too long ago, to rival company Playmates. This was an absolute shock to everybody, and it's absolutely no surprise that a lot of different toy tubers across the space have been reporting on this and its overall implications about what this could mean for the future of action figures and licensing. This move is a historic one, but also raises a lot of different questions. Obviously, there are a lot of reasons for this move, and we're going to talk a little bit about how this came about and why it's an interesting strategy for Hasbro and could be a potential huge win for Playmates going forward. This article is posted on April 22nd, 2024. It's morphing time, and goes on to say, it's morphing time. Hasbro Playmates toys strike a global deal for Power Ranger toys. Major news for a fan favorite franchise ahead of the Licensing Expo and Q1 earnings. This article, written by James Zahn, goes on to say Hasbro is continuing its reinvention by answering a question that many fans and retailers alike have been asking: what's happening with the Power Rangers? This is actually a really good question, considering the fact that over the last couple of months, there really hasn't been any major Power Ranger announcements at all. The last thing that really shook up the Power Rangers line, of course, was their crossover brand for Power Rangers Cobra Kai from the Lightning Collection. This, along with a few other Hasbro Pulse exclusives and other partnerships with companies like 3-0, there really has not been that much movement in the Power Rangers action figure and premium cosplay toy lines. And with a rich history of action figures, one would imagine that multiple lines for the actual Power Rangers themselves would have been easy to create. But it really does seem like Hasbro continues to dig back into the well for some of the most popular iterations of the Power Rangers themselves, particularly Mighty Morphin, which continues to see multiple figures being re-released from multiple brands, including Super 7. So licensing out Power Rangers definitely is not something new for Hasbro. But with this latest effort with one of their largest rivals, Playmates, this really is looking to shake up the industry. The article goes on to say that Playmates Toys will debut its range beginning with a kid-focused Mighty Morphin Power Rangers toy line next year. Again, they're going back to the MMPR. Well, even some 35 years later, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is still the most popular brand in the Power Rangers lineup. The deal with Hasbro also grants the company rights to develop additional cross-category products, including action figures, blasters, plush, role-play, vehicles, and accessories with global distribution across all regions, excluding Asia. Playmate's ability to interpret character-based storytelling in highly detailed, innovative, and affordable products has revitalized several iconic brands. They are the perfect fit to fully expand Power Rangers franchise. While we'll continue to provide oversight and direction on future Power Ranger products, Playmates will leverage its action figure and accessory design, development, and marketing expertise to create an entirely new play and collecting experience for fans of all ages. With two powerhouse companies coming together to support a powerhouse brand, the potential is limited. This quote was made by Casey Collins, president of licensing consumer products at Hasbro. That is absolutely crazy to consider, especially since Hasbro paid quite a bit of money to secure Power Rangers from Saban a number of years ago. Hasbro says it will retain all entertainment rights and will continue managing licensing activities for the brand. That continues to mean that companies like 3-0 and Super 7 will have opportunities to continue licensing Power Rangers. We are honored to work with Hasbro on the reimagination of this iconic franchise toy line for the long-time fans and a new generation of children, says Carl Aronian, Senior Vice President of Marketing for Playmate Toys. Playmates and Hasbro speak the same toy language and share the passion for Power Rangers, a multi-generational phenomenon that has stood the test of time. This is absolutely true. And we can see that in multiple iterations as people continue to love these characters and additional Power Ranger tie-ins are possible. But is it any wonder why Hasbro is going with this move? After all, their relationship with fans has been a little bit of a rocky one, and there have been multiple QC issues associated with the Power Rangers Lightning Collection, particularly in the paint deco. In this example here, we can see the Dino Thunder White Ranger and its glaring issues with the head sculpt, one of the most iconic helmets in the Power Rangers line. Lightning Collection Dino Thunder White Ranger helmet fixed by Dawson Rider highlights the differences between the two head sculpts. Fans had to contact Hasbro directly to ask for the replacement heads, and this was only available for a limited time. The Ascension project was one of those initiatives trying to create a premium version of the Dino Megazord, which excited fans initially when they first saw this announcement. I myself was very excited at this prospect. However, reviews were mixed when the final product was received by fans, some finding it incredibly refreshing, and others looking at the fit and finish with a little bit more of a critical eye. That's not to say that Hasbro cannot do good Power Ranger products. The roleplay helmet is one of the brighter spots for the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Premium Collection. I own all three of these helmets presently, and I have to say, they are absolutely stunning in person. It's my hope that they continue this, as this new announcement is kind of scary and doesn't give too many details in terms of where the products are going to be produced and if Hasbro will continue with their premium product line. As Playmates continues to push with brand new licenses, including the 40th anniversary Voltron for collectors who missed out on this same edition, which was released a number of years ago. The lights and sound features of this version of Voltron make it very enticing for fans who are looking to scratch that nostalgia itch. And of course, we can't forget that Playmates is the brand which arguably created the phenomenon of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, something which they continue into 2024 with their partnership of Nickelodeon and the Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, as their newest line of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles harkens back to the original illustration from Eastman and Laird, back all the way through their history. Toy Wanderer on Twitter shows the 40 years of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle original sketch collection, and these look absolutely stunning. But that's not to say that Playmates hasn't had a rocky road either. Their most recent picture of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fully articulated remastered edition has come with its own set of controversy, as the Turtles themselves being fully articulated was exciting news for all fans of TMNT, but the execution on this first release of images left a lot of people wondering if this is the final product, as these almost acne-ridden turtles seem to scare people more than entice them to buy. On paper, this partnership with Hasbro looks like a match made in heaven, but it still remains to be seen exactly what's going to happen with Power Rangers going forward. After all, a brand doesn't reach 35 years without hitting a few bumps in the road. But I, for one, am looking forward to this new endeavor and wish both Hasbro and Playmates the best of luck. Wow. This is absolutely crazy. I mean, quite literally, 2 days shy of a full year when I did that video titling, hell just froze over for a Mattel and Hasbro partnership. I thought that was crazy news. And now we're seeing that Hasbro is not outside the box when thinking about partnerships with other massive rival toy companies. I never would have thought in a million years that Hasbro and Playmates would have joined forces. I mean, Playmates, being the juggernaut that they are, have allowed for licenses for their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles brand. After all, we do know that the Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles have joined forces in the past before. This is kind of crazy considering what's really going on behind the scenes. But it cannot be denied that partnerships like this are something which seem to be necessary in this new world that we live in. 2024 is completely different from 2022, where things were just recovering from the pandemic, and companies like Hasbro, Mattel, and of course Playmates were just trying to figure out where their footing was in terms of coming back from this crazy situation that we all found ourselves in. And it seems that it's not the easy road to navigate, as partnerships like this would have been unthinkable not even a year ago. And now things seem to be happening fast. And I do mean fast, as a global brand like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers has just been licensed to a rival company. I wasn't surprised when Hasbro was licensing Power Rangers to companies like 3-0, who does absolutely huge premium work for 1/6 scale figures. That didn't seem too surprising to me. Companies like Super 7, a boutique brand, yeah, that also wasn't too much of a shock. But a huge rival company, someone who literally matches things like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to Power Rangers in terms of overall scale, that is a huge shock for this type of partnership. These are the types of things where you don't really think too much about those, as they're all sort of interconnected with gaming and, that type of not direct competition in terms of like action figures. But when it comes to something like this, where Power Rangers, which is a huge global brand, is now being licensed off to a huge company, and having to admit that maybe they are the better fit for a kid-friendly brand like Power Rangers, that's a huge, maybe even a bitter pill to swallow for a company like Hasbro. But in this climate that we're finding ourselves in, might be the reason why they're doing it, and another reason why it's important to try and make these partnerships to survive in 2024. Guys, let me know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts about this crazy new partnership with Playmates and Hasbro? Are you guys interested in picking up any of these new kid-friendly toys for your children, considering the fact that Hasbro has more or less an interesting track record with Power Rangers and the whole brand in and of itself, as Hasbro hasn't had exactly the best track record with this global brand? Are you guys interested in perhaps seeing premium products from Playmates coming forward with Power Rangers? Or are you hoping that Hasbro will retain those premium product licenses, as those have been sort of hit and miss, but at the same time, you consider the premium products from Hasbro a little bit more in terms of a collector brand than you would Playmates? Or are you sort of just scratching your head thinking, why is this even a thing? And why did Hasbro even allow this to happen? Let me know those comments in the comment section below, guys. If you enjoyed this episode, please do leave me a like. It really does help me out. And if you're in the position to help out the channel, please consider checking out my Patreon page. It's Mega J Retro on Patreon. Guys, the patrons and channel members of this channel help me make wonderful episodes every single week, and I couldn't do it without them. They are the best. Thank you so much for your support, everybody. It really means the world to me. I hope you're all doing well, staying safe. And as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. May the power protect you, everyone. Good journey. Geek proud.